On this week's episode of the Kokomo Press Podcast, we talk about a lot of the happenings coming on in Kokomo and the surrounding area in Indianapolis, including the Greenwood Mall shooting and the recent revelations in the Karena McClerkin case.
And I'm Davee from the Is That Right podcast. We like to question life and open people's minds. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, Spotify, all the other platforms, you know what I'm saying? Is That Right?
And we also talked about my experience talking to Tupac on the Ouija board.
We talk about all this and more on this week's episode of the Kokomo Press Podcast.
Warning, this video contains adult content not suitable for children.
What's up? It's Kokomo Press Podcast. I'm Jordan Granger, and as always, I'm joined by one of the best hosts in the whole world,
Courtney.
Horse. I did the core horse thing again.
Stop calling me a core horse.
But we've got Courtney in the house, we've got Jordan in the house, and we have a very special guest.
WTFDave.
I was going to say it.
Davee.
WTFDave.
Yeah.
Check him out. So Davee, we met Davee, what the fuck Dave, certified lover boy. Is it lover boy?
No, certified fuck boy.
Okay.
I'm the opposite of Drake. That's what the whole thing is.
You got to check him out. He has his own podcast that he does with his buddy Dalton, and there's another guy doing it now too, right?
Mario. He's kind of like he's like in the crew. He's not like gonna be,
this is them
editing
right here
with us or nothing.
This is the boys.
Fucks with us a lot.
Check them out. They're on everywhere that we listen to the podcast, and also you can find them on YouTube. So check them out on YouTube. I'm obviously subscribed. You can see right there. These guys are great. Jordan and I were on the podcast a while back, so if you guys want to go and find that episode specifically, they did cut out my part about white rappers. I didn't appreciate it. I'm just kidding.
Did we? I don't.
It's controversial, right?
I'm not. I gotta check it again. I can't remember, bro.
I did a whole bit on it because I'm writing a comedy bit for the shows I have coming up, and that's like one of the things I want to write about is how much I hate white rap, but not white. Like I don't hate white rappers, but I hate white rap. Like the genre.
We probably took it out because it was like too much hate. Like there's a level of hate. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's funny, but when you actually hate, it's like, damn, bro. We need them to watch.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, white rappers. Well, do you really want the lyrical miracle spirituals on there? That's what you want. Lyrical miracle spiritual. That's the joke is the lyrical spiritual. You know what I'm talking about, right?
That's good bars right there.
You're
bro.
a hip hop. No, it's not.
It's not. I'm using that now. What are you talking about? That's gonna be on CFB now.
One of my that's actually the joke. There's like a meme on lyrical spiritual miracle whip because it's always white guys. But that's one of my favorite things about you guys' podcast. Your guys' intro song, it's so good. Yeah. I love that intro every time. I get stuck in my head.
It was weird. We made that shit in like 10 minutes, honestly. Yeah. It was that fast. We were like, we need a theme song. Let's go ahead and make it. No idea. Just took a couple shots of gin, went at it. You know what I mean?
It's just like...
Yeah.
You do the whole thing?
It's almost...
I'll do the whole thing. I'll paint on the whole fucking thing. Right
do
now.
it.
You know it.
Just do it.
Is it right podcast? I gotta hop up on that mic. Dalton and it's like, it's really cool. I like it. Yeah. And they do that. Well, I might have to hop up on a mic real fast. And then they, hey, what's up? And I like the way they do it. It's really cool. Yeah. It's lit.
Yeah.
You should do
Shout out
something
to
like that.
the producer, by the way, Evan McClurkin.
There you go. Evan McClurkin. There you go. We got a producer for our music too. His name is Bobby Trill. God damn it, Bobby.
Oh, that's Bobby Trill. Okay.
Bobby Trill on the beat. He's the shit.
I'll have to add him on Facebook. I always see him.
Best.
That picture's funny, by the way.
Oh yeah. He is absolutely lit. Like, man, he does. He works with Draco McCoy, and who's the guy? I'm gonna fuck up his name now. That's the one he did the out of my body. I can't remember the name of the song now. It'll come to me while we're talking, but it's really good shit. Like, I really enjoy what they do together. Just can't remember his name right now. He's in another thing called Blast, but it's like 3-1 or 3-1-1. They were on what's the name of that fucking thing? I need somebody else here. I need Matt here.
You need somebody else here besides me.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not helping.
I'm like, I know
Draco McCoy.
Draco McCoy, and then the Sirius Black is his name. Sirius Black. He's the
Draco Malfoy.
Okay.
Draco Malfoy. Well, he only fucks with people that do Harry Potter references. Draco McCoy and Sirius Black. He's like, that's all. And then he's Bobby Trill.
I may end up working with them because the project after Certified Fuckboy is actually Harry Potter related.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that'd be badass. I can't even say the name yet, but that's going to be dope.
Yeah, I can't remember. The other one is like 831, and then what's like an 5581. That's the name of their group, but it looks like Blessed, but it's
I don't know why you look at me like I know anything what you're talking about.
Sometimes I feel like you might watch the podcast before.
I don't
you
watch.
Never did. You never
No.
did. She's like, I don't watch them. Yeah, that's awesome though. But anyway, check these guys out. Seriously, we couldn't get Dalton today just because we don't have enough chairs in here, and I was like, I don't want to set up another mic for that. But I'm gonna hopefully get Dalton on other time. But Davey, you're the guy I normally talk to anyway from your guys' ragtag group of people. And what's the third guy's name? Sorry, I want to hear it one more time.
Demario.
Okay. Because I see like in clips you'll be like Demario says this. So
Yeah.
You know, you never know how to say certain names. It's like certain words.
He's real funny, man. He's like just a real dude, basically. He always have like a super real perspective on shit.
Yeah.
Certain topics, he just like, this ain't real nigga shit, bro.
He said then we're gonna cut that out. I'm just kidding. That's a pre
funny.
thing. That's a pre joke, a pre podcast joke. Yeah, man. So what when you guys started the podcast, like what made you guys? I know a little bit about it because we've talked, but let my people know when you guys started the podcast. What was your like intent?
So basically, we're all being from the Midwest. It's like we didn't grow up having people spread ideas and stuff. It's like you get one perspective from your parents or your friends, your community.
Yeah.
And we just wanted something in Kokomo basically for people to open their minds, and it doesn't have to be people don't like reading. Let's keep it a buck, right?
Yeah.
We wanted something that's entertaining that could get people to want to do it from like, oh, I'm off work now, right? Now I'll go, this is chill and shit, and they can talk about some shit I never thought about, you feel me? And then we've gotten feedback from people that said, like, yeah, this shit you brought up, I never even thought about that.
Yeah, that's good.
So we like the idea of while we're doing the show, we're asking these questions, you answer in your own head, and we never tell you what to think. It's just, this is my idea, who knows where you can go with it.
Yeah.
So the goal is to open people's minds mainly, because we don't like, being a eat, sleep, shit, work again cycle. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know part of me with podcasts, one of the reasons why I love podcasts so much is that like I can be at work and I can throw it on and listen to people talk about something, and I feel like I'm hanging out with the homies, like I'm hanging out with the bros. This is a hang,
right?
And even though like I'm not in the room, you feel like you are. And I think that's what like Joe Rogan or like Your Mom's House or like Flagrant 2, like a lot of these. And I mean, obviously, is that right? And over here at Kokomo Press, we want it to be like a hang. We want you guys to come check out what we're doing, and we're going to talk about some topics that maybe you know about, maybe you don't, but either way you're going to have a good time.
Yeah, we try to make a point to have comedy in there, so it's like, it's not, like I said, it's not just reading a book,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So if it's something funny, we'll throw it in there, and now we're at the point where we'll write jokes in there and stuff. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. It really does, and I think it's good too, because then you guys can riff. And if you guys come up, like let's say you come up like with me, I'll come up with like a picture that I put on here, and that's where we want to. I want to riff off of it. So I'm like, oh, this will be fun to goof with Courtney or goof with Brian or goof with our guest about.
It just engages the audience more and stuff too, and obviously if it's actually funny, they're gonna be like, what's coming next? You know what I mean?
Exactly, and that's really, I think that's the point here. Yeah, check them out, guys. Is That Right Podcast? I'll plug it probably multiple times on this, but this is fun. Facts on the Pod, hosted by Davey and Dalton, the 2 Ds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I designed all that, by the way.
Yeah.
My sister helped me with it, but she did the rough outline, and then I put in the colors and stuff. So
yeah, I love that you guys had the drink off to the right there, because we today are doing mimosas, courtesy of Courtney.
Now.
You're welcome, guys.
Courtney got mimosas together for us. We stopped doing the Bud Light seltzer. We thought we'd be more sophisticated on a Sunday morning.
Finally got
it's
one.
It's brunch.
Mm-hmm.
I think I mentioned it in episode. Can't remember whether it was maybe 50 or something like that. Finally got one.
We finally got a mimosa. We made it happen here live on the Kokomo Press Podcast. Yeah. I'm excited, man. This week has been kind of insane for news. And I mean, the biggest thing, obviously, that came up in the news, not trying to bum anybody else, but we got to talk about it, is they believe they might have the suspect in the killing of Karina McClerkin.
Yes.
Which is insane. You know what I mean? The fact that they found the guy. This is court documents reveal additional details that led to the arrest of a man in connection with Karena McClerkin, Kokomo teen who went missing in 2016. And this guy's name is Flint Farmer, and we're not trying to give him too much, light, but at the same time, we kind of have to know, because this is a small community, and we're talking about a murder here. You know what I mean? So that guy in particular got caught, and there was a live stream. You guys see the KVD live stream? Were you able to watch it?
No, but I read the entire.
Yeah, there was like a whole. They did a press conference downtown with Karina's mother and I think brother, and then her, and at the end her grandma freaked out.
Is that where her dad didn't get to find out?
Yeah, they didn't tell about the thing that threw them off was the skeletal remains. Is like her grandma Jerry, who everybody knows Jerry. If you know anything about the case, you know Jerry.
Yeah. Because
Jerry has been the most vocal person. When we were down at the Black Lives Matter protest, she was down there saying, has anybody seen my granddaughter? Has anybody seen my granddaughter? Like, and she's always been fighting for her granddaughter. And I mean, just not letting her know. And KPD's seen her enough. They've seen her around. They knew they should have hit her up, man. I just thought it was fucked up. So personally, I gave a shit about that. But then I saw this, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this. Somebody made a GoFundMe for the supposed alleged killer.
Why?
Because somebody in Kokomo would do that shit, man. I think we'd expect that from someone in Kokomo. Let's keep it real.
Yeah. It's something that you
Is that somebody that's related, or is that just somebody?
I don't know, but I would just say, if I had to say anything about it, I would say, bye, Felita. I'm sorry. I had to do that.
By Felicia?
But it's not even Felicia, is it? Is it still Felicia? Dude,
Oh.
I don't even know.
Felicita?
The T should come out before the I if it's Felicia, right?
That's definitely not a real name.
Felicita Rubao.
I'm gonna find her.
Find her on the Facebooks. No, but anyway,
I guarantee you that's not a real name.
The good news is that GoFundMe deleted the.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, it went away real quick.
They chose like a stupid picture to like. To me, it's clearly a joke, but
It
someone
seems
in
like
Kokomo would like have that sense of humor and shit.
Mm-hmm. Or even if it's not a joke and it is somebody serious, like maybe read the room. You know what I mean? I don't know, like maybe get a public defender. I mean, obviously this whole thing started with some Zans. Maybe he should sling some Zans and sling some of his Zans and go out there and get your own attorney. But I don't think the community should be giving you any money.
Yeah,
I feel bad for
It's an old lady.
Is it? Oh, poor old lady.
It's probably. I can't imagine that's
what?
There's
an old lady.
This one doesn't have it.
I don't want to put her on the pod. I'm not even trying to really blast her ass out. Other than I
don't even know if that's a real profile.
I doubt like they may have just picked a name. There's no way that person will be a real person. There's just no way.
Yeah,
I gotta like to do that with a real name. I can't imagine. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I think you have to, right? When you do GoFundMe, you have to
sign up
because somebody has to get the money. So you have to put a real name and stuff. I know. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe she was banging him or something.
Bro.
Maybe he was supplying some Zans. Sorry that I put your name out there. I wasn't really trying to. I didn't even realize the lady's name was on there. I should have.
Well, I mean, if she's trying to do all that, fuck her.
Yeah, I know.
Put her name out.
Yeah, that's weird as fuck.
That's
right
ridiculous.
I honestly, there's a part of me that hopes that we just find Karina fine and those skeletal remains aren't hers. You know what I mean? But at the same time, after going on 8 years,
I thought they figured out that it was.
I haven't seen anything. Maybe you have. Maybe tomorrow we'll know more even because it's Monday. But I hadn't gotten anything I haven't read anything.
There was
said.
I saw another post that was on, I think it was the Kokomo Chatter, about another girl that had been killed, and they Destiny Pittman. And I was like, I remember that, but I don't remember that.
I think they were doing it from her perspective. I saw that exact same post. They were doing it from her perspective, and what they were doing was like, somebody knows, like my killer, somebody knows who
somebody
my killer
has
is.
to know. Like I was like, when? It was like 2013.
Yeah, it was
like I remember the name, but I don't remember everything involved in it.
I don't think I was back in Kokomo. I was still in the Navy when that happened.
Okay, so now this situation, right?
Yeah.
Was what exactly did they know the circumstances of like how it even happened in the first place? Like
for Karina or Destiny?
Karina.
For Karina, when you read the report that was leaked by a guy named Michael Hinkle, I don't know if it was leaked or if he just got it and it was like a right to know or whatever, but like he put it out there and there some of it was definitely redacted, but basically what I understood was they had an idea that this guy from the start, he was the last person to be seen with her alive.
Everything turned back to him. Why did they not pursue this further before?
They need a lot of evidence in order to like get a warrant to go into somebody's house. They need
which is
so
fine,
much.
But like he was the last person with her, last person seen with her.
Like,
the neighbor heard
that's
her
what
yelling.
I'm asking. What with her to what capacity? Like at the store? Like
yes,
no,
exactly.
at her house.
No, it was more than that. It wasn't her house. It was his house.
It was his house.
Yeah, so in the report, it explains that some people saw her there at his house. She got dropped off there. Somebody reported that they dropped her off there. That was the first.
They dropped her off there.
He said she was never
seen
there.
They ordered a pizza together. The neighbors
Jim's
heard
Pizza.
her.
The neighbors.
There was
heard
another
her.
lady that they went to go buy drugs from, and they had to go get the ATM and the
Village Pantry ATM,
and then they had to go to
Washington.
Speedway.
Yeah.
They saw videos of that.
He went to Speedway because the ATM was out at Village Pantry. But the thing, my whole thing is like, why didn't they go deeper? And like, obviously, maybe this will eventually come out once it's all done, and they have a good reason.
It's pretty complicated.
It's a complicated. But at the same time, like, if you have him on wax lying, saying I didn't see her that night, and then you find video evidence of them together, at that point you have to start asking questions, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about multiple threads of him being.
And wasn't it the neighbor that said they heard her yelling and
they heard her yell?
They heard her yell, and then they heard like a thud, and then Wasn't there another one that said they came inside and saw somebody on the floor with a blanket on them?
They saw what appeared to be a body on the floor with a blanket. Yeah. But that's all again,
it's all circumstantial.
That's all people saying things. When you have literally, my big thing that bothered me from the case more than anything, and maybe people will know more. Let us know in the comments because I'd love to read about it. I've really cared about Jerry from the start of this. Like we've done as much as we could on the page. We post stuff over the years.
Us a couple times.
Jerry's a sweet lady, and I felt so bad for her being blindsided by the body and the skeletal remains thing. But I'll tell you this much: like once they found out that he lied about even being around her, I feel like that should have been enough.
Yeah, 100%.
Video evidence of him. They have video evidence that he lied, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, that whole situation has a lot of like, why did this happen? Why did that happen? To go through. I mean,
and maybe it is one of those.
Really.
Maybe it is one of those like it's easy to like Monday. What's that Monday morning football or Monday morning quarterbacking where like after it's all said and done, it's like I would have done this.
But they have to have more than that to be able to do what they needed to do.
Yeah. So hopefully it all comes out that they did things the right way. This is KPD doing KPD things, and we all. If you've ever had any incidences, maybe you've had great.
I don't know. I've had a lady at work tell me that they know who the Delphi killer is, and they just won't arrest him yet.
They just won't arrest him. They're like, listen, we know who this guy is, but we want him on the streets longer.
See, the problem is that everybody has something to say about everything when they're not the ones actually dealing with it.
Absolutely.
And a lot of I know multiple people that have been accused of it.
Oh yeah.
Actually, did you ever heard of a channel called something Travels? I might have to look it up or something and tell you about it. But basically, he does he traveled around the world through the military and shit, and he does top 10 videos. Like, this city is the most this, right? From 1 to 10. Kokomo is number 6 on unsolved murders.
And I think it's because of those three. There's Karina, there's Destiny, and there's Chad. Everybody knows about Chad or Rouse. I think it's Rouse, and that one got brought up too because once this came out,
you see how much work they've put into trying to find her.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you see that it's it did something. She did this.
Yeah.
She kept them going. So when you see that, the other family's got to step up.
Well, I think one of the things I was reading was somebody came forward with information and then they found the skeletal. And I'm like, that seems like they knew where. And to me, with the Destiny thing, they had her body. It happened in the house when they left.
Right.
And I think with Chad, it was the same thing. And obviously we're not trying to bring this completely down, into the doldrums, but this is a big news in Kokomo, and we're the other Kokomo Press. We've got to talk about this. This is super important to the people around here, and it was super important to me. And me and Jordan Bell were just literally texting back and forth, have you heard this? Have you heard this? Just trying to figure out what's being done and what's being said. And at the end of the day, he and I were both under the same feelings of man.
I'm really glad that we have a detective that isn't part of the police anymore.
Oh yeah,
or isn't the one that likes to tell everybody all the information.
Was he ever part of the police?
No.
I didn't think so. But he's
the guy
in the
who
know.
Thinks he's a detective.
But he is in the know.
He is in the know.
He is in the know. That's
that guy that likes to tell everybody everything and break all the stories.
That between that and the scanner page people, I'm not going to pretend they haven't done something good every once in a while. Every once in a while something good happens, and I'm not going to say that's not true. But it does drive me crazy that you just have people sitting next to a fucking radio all night listening. What the hell are you doing?
Forgot you had a beef with them.
Yeah, I have a beef with everybody. We're going in. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have a beef with anybody. I don't
have a beef with nobody.
I don't dislike anybody other than...
I don't like people that get involved in things they shouldn't be.
Well, that was the big deal. The family asked the in the know people not to keep posting about it, and they just kept doing it. And I mean, they have the right to do it. They don't have to give a shit.
But it's the respect aspect. I'm in a ghost hunting group, and right after the Delphi killers, there were we heard of other groups hey, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna try and find their spirits and talk. You don't do that.
Oh, that's fucked up, bro.
That's so wrong. Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not much different than the argument that we're making with those guys, which is before the family's notified they're posting on the internet, and that's fucked up.
Do they get paid for what they do, or
no,
they just be doing that? Yeah,
same shit we do.
If you're not getting paid for that, you shouldn't be. If you're getting paid, it's more complicated. If you're not getting paid, you definitely shouldn't.
If somebody expects that of you, then that's fine, but they don't.
But there's a thing called journalism, and there's journalistic integrity, and part of journalism is journalistic integrity, and part of anything is you notify next of kin first. And then you post.
Yeah.
Because the
public respect their families.
And and that's one thing that we always, we don't try to report on things that haven't already been reported on, unless it's like something innocuous, like, oh, there's a new Burlington Coat Factory.
Yeah, like the Burlington Coat Factory.
Like, that's not going to affect anybody. I mean, all that is a scoop. It's not the same as like literally, oh, by the way, we know who killed your daughter before you or your granddaughter. That's fucked up.
I mean, we wouldn't even cover anything close to that. So, on our show, we cover philosophical topics or comedy topics. We wouldn't even.
Yeah, you got.
We hardly ever talk about. Yeah, we hardly ever talk about.
They're way
shit,
more
to be
fun
honest.
than we are.
Yeah. You should listen to them and not us.
Yeah.
No. We just, our thing is like, we just think bigger than Kokomo. Like, it's open everyone's mind. Like Kokomo, we want them to be part of it.
Of
you know what I'm
course.
saying? But it's really everyone could be better in that sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, we're talking about bigger than Kokomo. I got something bigger than Kokomo here. Let's talk about that. The Greenwood shooting. Let's just keep going down. Yeah, I mean, like, this was this was I mean, obviously 3 people died, one of those people being the shooter. But, I mean, within 15 seconds, somebody, which was this kid on the left here. Well, that's the wrong one. This is just more details. Police said the shooter was shot. Good. But this guy on the left, the guy with the weirdest name ever, Elisha.
Oh, I thought that was a spelling mistake.
No, that's his fucking
That's his real name.
Yeah, his mom.
Which I can't say much because mine is also spelled wrong.
Elijah.
It's probably Elijah.
And the last name just spelled Dickin.
Dickin.
Giving a nice
He's
Dickin.
just dicking it out.
My name is Eli Dickin. Eli Dickens.
So they're saying, was this guy the shooter or something?
No, the
that's
guy on the
that shot the
left,
shooter.
Elisha, was the guy who, within 15 seconds.
This is the John Wick guy?
The guy on the left, yeah, he's the John Wick guy.
That's what they're saying. Yeah, I heard about that. They're calling him John Wick.
Yeah, he shot 10 rounds and 8 of them went into the suspect from 30 yards away, which is, he's like 20. This kid's like 22 years old.
But maybe he shouldn't have been carrying in a mall.
No, I don't think so. I think it was. He apparently didn't break any laws. That's what they said. He actually didn't break any laws. There's a loophole.
Oh my god.
Loophole.
What was the loophole?
Oh my, that's like Superman, like, you know, saving a bunch of people on the bus. And it's like, yeah, but you shouldn't have had your superpowers activated in the fucking first place. So okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, the whole thing was, they said within 15 seconds, or was it 15 seconds? Within 15 seconds of the shooting started, he took his girlfriend, hid her, came back, shot the guy, emptied 10 rounds, 8 of them went into the
I just need to find a guy that'll shoot somebody for me.
You just need a shooter? I need a shooter.
I think everybody should just learn to, like, shoot themselves. Everybody just be John Wick, like, you know what I mean?
That's what somebody had said, like, we shouldn't need the Wild West. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but as long as there's bad people, you gotta have good people.
Okay, well, to those people, you don't defend your family, because I'm pretty sure most people want to defend theirs, so...
Yeah. It's facts.
It's a choice, I suppose, right? It is a choice, you know, I guess.
Courtney, tell them all about your aren't you locked and loaded half the time?
No.
No, but you are.
I got a machete in my car.
Do you have a carry?
I have a carry permit. I've never had a gun. We've talked about this millions of times.
It's so funny to me.
I don't disclose.
I've had a carry permit forever.
Yeah, for the longest time I didn't tell people, but then I started putting myself on the internet, and I'm like, you know what? I need you guys to know that I am loaded up.
That's why they keep marking your faces out of the posters.
Oh yeah,
I'll let people just tell by our personalities that we would not be the right people to, you know, we just be nice to us, we'll be nice to you. Let's just say that.
Absolutely.
You know,
I'm right there with you. I mean, the cool thing was, in the good thing, it's not really cool, but like in the same week, Elisha eliminated that Eli eliminated that guy, and then this kid in Lafayette, Nicholas Bostic, saved 5 kids from a burning, or 5 people from a burning building, which is pretty crazy.
That's badass.
Didn't the guy that shot the people, didn't Elijah get banned from the mall?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure the mall put out a statement that said, like, there's a loophole.
I thought he got a lifetime ban from the mall.
Listen, you're not allowed to bring guns in the mall unless you're stopping an active shooter.
All I'm saying is, you like, to ban him from the mall would be dumb. You could just tell him, like, hey, next time just don't bring your gun, maybe.
Just hire him as security.
Yeah. There's nothing better. There's nothing better for active shooters than to be like, oh, you're not allowed to bring your gun in here. You're not allowed. Only the bad guy can. Like, it's so weird.
Like, how the fuck did he get his gun? What started it? Like, do you know, like, was it motivated for something?
The family put out a statement, and the family was like, they I mean, and you don't know.
Because I've seen so much about him, but nothing about the actual incident.
People
like,
trying to do the positive spin. You know,
well, that's fine, but...
things. Well, I know the family put out a statement that was like, we had just talked to him 2 days ago. He was excited about his future, like, and then all of a sudden this happened. They don't know. They don't know what happened.
Who was the guy?
I don't know. I never looked it up. I don't really care to know. Honestly, I don't. Because, like, number one, he was an active shooter trying to kill people, and number two, that motherfucker got killed quick. 15 seconds in, he was like, I'm about to...
Yeah.
Maybe whatever was coming up, like he got the call, like he thought it got accepted, right? And they called him and like there was a mix up.
Yeah.
We meant the other Michael or the other, you know what I'm saying? He's like, oh well.
His name was Eli, and he's like, no, it's another guy. His name's Elijah Dickens. And it was the same guy, even though I'm just fucking around.
He was the guy that got the thing that he was gonna get.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I get it now.
I get it.
Hey, bro was watching his back the whole time. He said, I know bro's coming for me. You know what I'm saying?
We did have something pretty funny come up in Kokomo this week that I'd like to talk about, and that is the thing that happened with the coterie. Did you guys hear about that?
How they are the best cheeseburger?
No, they got 5th place.
Oh shit! So I was hearing about that. They was talking about that Half Moon too. So
I made this graphic for you.
Who actually won? Half Moon?
I don't know. I think Half Moon. I don't even remember. Honestly, the funny part to me was like we all know for a fact that nobody in this town does burgers as well as the coterie, and then like they like got 5th place. So it's just hilarious. Which makes me wonder, like when people were voting for things like that, and it's like
does Half Moon even sell burgers? Because you go there for steak.
they do.
I've been there. Their burgers aren't bad, but they're really greasy.
No, they're real good.
Do you like them?
Yeah.
You down? So you're down. So but at least Half Moon is a local establishment.
Everything's good there, honestly.
Yeah. I went there one time and wasn't impressed, but I went there another time and loved it. So it's like it depends on who you get.
I go there for like steak and stuff.
No, I think all these food places in town, they have like a moment and then they kind of, they lose some workers, they get a little worse, and then they come back and it's like an ebb and flow.
When did you go there? When was this?
The first time I went had to be about 3 years ago. About 3 years ago. So when me and Shelby first started dating. So we went there and we were both like, what the hell? And then since then, we've went back twice and both times it was great.
I don't know. 3 years ago was a long time ago. I can't say about that, honestly.
He said 3 years ago is a long time.
Who knows?
I feel you.
Good now, though.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, but I think all these places, they go through, like, ebbs and flows of, like, they have a good cook, and then maybe the cook moves on.
Ray's Drive-In has the best burgers.
Ray's Drive-In.
Now, who is that? Like, I'm confused.
This guy right here, this is Kyle Gibson. He is, like, the manager, the guy who runs the coterie. And he's got a pretty big profile. Okay. He does, like, the Riverwalk concert series. He helps with a lot of stuff. But, like, he also has this Kokomo as fuck shirts. He's very Kokomo. He's Mr. Kokomo. Mr. Kokomo.
What was that 765 till I die?
765 till I die. Isn't that from your thing? Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what Stone said. He said, I'm 765 till I die.
But anyway, I made this graphic. I took Putin's face out of it, put his face on there, changed their logo from the original coterie to the commies, and then put like a couple of I found a couple of graphics online. I was like, I'm just gonna throw these on here because it's funny. And then it kind of, I did it just to be a goof. And Courtney's like, why'd you do that? She hated it. She wanted to different. She wanted to do a whole ass video on it. And I'm like, we don't have time.
No, Brian wanted to do a video. I wanted you to redo the poll, but make it about something else.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but you wanted to be like best drugs. Best place to get drugs.
No, I was going to do best Dollar Generals.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
It makes sense that like if his bar is in he owns the bar, as you said, if his bar is in Kokomo, you probably would be 765 till I die.
Yeah, it makes,
best karaoke bars in Kokomo.
I went to the coterie a few weeks ago. My friend with DeMario and shit. It was cool.
Like it? It's good. It's a cool vibe. You catch it on nights where it's really busy, and I'm like, oh, but it's a cool vibe when you go in there, and it's like pretty low key.
Me and Matt were supposed to go there for our cheeseburger day, but.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and let them know that they are the commies because he still hasn't got me in there, my band in there. And that's why I'm like, get my fucking band in there, bro. He said he was going to. Let's get it closer. Oh, the commies.
I just want to say at the coterie, this chick hit on me with her boyfriend there. And like he started to walk up and she's like, shit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Oh, my God. I'm kind of worried about who that could be. I'm not going to speculate, but I have a pretty good idea.
I didn't continue to engage with her to find out, so I don't know.
They were like, hey.
I think you need to tell me.
No, I'm not.
I don't know
off air. Off air, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up off air, but I'm not gonna do it on there, just because I know
it wasn't me.
It wasn't me, Shaggy. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
No, we're already texting, so it's a good.
Hey man, you guys got any good podcasts coming up? You guys got any good guests? I'm gonna try to steal them before you. I'm just kidding.
No, we just did an episode with director David Stay. He's done Photon, which is a show. It's kind of like the Power Rangers from like the.
Tell me, did Lenny hit you up with that?
Yeah.
Lenny, you guys had Lenny on, and Lenny's a big fan of David. He's talked about getting him on here, but I'm like, I'm not into Skype, and I know you guys probably.
Yeah, that's in that episode coming out. It's gonna look like Skype. We have to live with it. It's not gonna be 4K, but the audio's great. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about there. He's met a lot of famous people. Taught us a lot of industry shit just from the few weeks of knowing him too.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That episode is going to be dope. Then after that, we got Tay, and then rapper named Kai. Make sure I say this right. Kai Star.
Kai Star.
Yeah.
There we go.
So he's a Kokomo rapper just coming out, but he's very talented. We heard his music, and
you guys get a lot of like rappers and a lot of like hip hop people on there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, we just like our interviews, the way we talk about, we try to find the highlights of people's careers and stuff, and we usually are able to find some pretty interesting stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that you guys. I mean, that's one of the good things you guys do is you guys do a lot of research. Because I remember coming in, you're like, "What about this? What about that?" I was like, "Damn, man, who are you, Nardwuar?"
I pretty much. I mean, yeah, you could kind of say that. We always have something like that. I make it a point to find this interesting part of your career, something no one thought about, or even some. If we have a question you ask and you say something you don't think there's nothing there, but we're like, wait a second, you're not gonna skip over that.
Yeah.
So that's how we like to do things, man.
I like it. It's fun. It's fun. I like. That's the cool thing about Kokomo is there's a few we know a few of the podcasters.
You told me you were going to be on, and I had heard of your podcast, so that's surprising, honestly.
Finally, I'm glad we're at the point that people have heard of it, because like there was a time people were like,
I know that.
Is that
hard right
is
now.
it wrong? Is it right?
I don't know. It's like,
is that right?
We're posting clips like almost every day and shit. We're going hard. How you not heard of us, man?
Yeah, exactly. You do. I mean, honestly, your clip game is up there. I don't have the time to do the clips.
Did I tell you I got recognized?
Did you? Oh, tell me about this.
But it was about the Waste of Kokomo podcast.
What the fuck?
They're like, I've seen you on this like podcast, and I'm like, yeah, I do a podcast, and they're like, with Jimmy, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do that. I did that one too.
Yeah, I did that one too.
I thought it was this one, but it was the other one.
It's funny that they even recognized you because you look so different now than when you did that podcast.
I think they knew who I was. They worked with me too. So.
Okay, that makes sense.
We just started getting recognized like just recently.
Yeah, what was it? Tell me a story about it. What happened?
Just old friends at the gas station. Like, you know how people know you, but they're not gonna say nothing. Now it's like, oh, you're doing something. I'll talk to you, bro. Yeah, add me on Facebook, all that shit, like several times. You're not mad about it, but it's just like. So if I'm just working a regular job, you don't say shit to me. That's okay.
If I ever tell anybody I do this, they're like, oh, I don't fuck with that.
The Kokomo Press?
Yeah.
They don't?
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's not surprising.
Like, I don't fuck with that.
There's a reason my face got ripped off of shit. There are a lot. Like, the funny thing is we have a really strong, like, following of people that are very fun and understand, and they're in on the joke. And then the people that aren't in on the joke, they're, like, really vocal.
We hate them.
Yeah, we hate those people. They're transphobic.
Oh, wow. So
we get that one.
I wouldn't get that vibe from you guys at all.
No, we're not. We're not.
Yeah,
we're
not at all.
We're the opposite of transphobic. I love trans people. I have very close people in my life that have really close people to them that are trans, and I would never disrespect or be I would never treat them any different than anybody else. And I've used the proper pronouns. You know, I do my best. Sometimes I fucked up because we were talking about Ezra Miller last week with Corey, and Ezra uses they them, and that one I get really fucked up with that one because I don't know a whole bunch of trans people, people who identify as trans people, or as gender non-binary or anything like that. So it's like I don't get a chance to use it as much. And it's like with any other word, if you don't use a word and then you go to use it, it might confuse you. And this is a whole version of like speaking that's hard to do.
Like I said this on our podcast, like I think I know it now because we said it, but LGBTQ, like if you don't say that, like the first time I said it, I was like LBQGT, like I was like I don't even know.
LGBTQ plus,
and it's like I don't.
Plus.
It's just
I forgot the AI.
How dare you?
And if, like I said, if you don't say it all the time, you won't get the letters right. You know what I'm saying?
Not only that, the weirdest thing about us.
I only care about the D.
Oh my.
The only thing that annoyed me about being called trans. Well, there was an article that was written about our joke about Amber Purd about we made a whole joke about like furries at school, basically, or like people who identify as like
people
animals.
Still constantly.
I saw how viral that one.
They still tell you about it?
They're still constantly talking to me about it. Like my mom's friends are the ones that were really upset about it. And
didn't you have like a governor, or like wasn't there like somebody famous comment on it or something?
Shit ton.
Yeah, I saw.
We had Spike Cohen comment. Spike Cohen commented on a different thing. That was the one about the girl at the gas station, which was hilarious. The girl who was selling her ass for some gas. But no, we had USA Today fact checked us. We had Snopes fact checked us on that one.
Hell no!
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
It was some big shit, and we ended up on but the thing was, the Kokomo Tribune put out an article, a guy named Spencer Durham, which I just posted one of his things posted one of his things on our page recently. about the new smoke detectors or vape detectors.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think he's a bad guy, but I do think that he should have reached out to us for a comment.
Exactly.
Because if he would have known that like 2 of the admins at the time had really close connections with trans family members and things. And it's like when you call us transphobic or you call us anti-gay or anti-LGBT, you don't know what our intent was with that post. Our intent was to make fun of our moms.
That leads everybody into like being like, oh well, that was transphobic.
Yeah, and they don't really know us. Like, they don't know us, so they don't know the truth.
You're making it hard for people that are like that to get taken seriously.
Courtney is a huge part of this page. She was at Pride. Like
I was at all the Prides.
I know you were at Indy. You were at, and then Jordan, who. A huge part of this page, he's got a really, and he put it out there on the internet. It's out there on one of the podcasts we did, the one that was directly after all that shit hit. He came out and said, I have a trans family member who's very close to me. And like,
I also have a trans family member that's very close to me.
I don't want to out anybody's family or nothing. I'm not trying to do that.
I'm not saying who, but I do.
Yeah. And it's like it makes me laugh because I just had my cousin who is a gay woman just passed away, and it drove me crazy being told, you're transphobic when I'm not,
right.
What I mean? Or like you're anti-LGBT, and we pushed Pride for the entire time.
We talked about it
all the time. Hey, you guys come to this.
And it's also, but it's something that like everybody takes so seriously. You have to be serious all the time. We can't do that. Like you have to. You can't be serious about literally everything. There's still going to be jokes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He's over here dodging minefields. Like, miss me with that.
I'm saying like if whether it's gay, straight, whoever, like if you include people in a joke, you see them as friends, you're gonna say jokes about them. I mean, there's obviously levels of tasteful jokes, but if like we're in a situation where, or if we're in a society where we can't make jokes about this group, that group, then that's really like discluding them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You have to be able to joke about it for you to.
I think
then there's intent to hurt though, as long as you're like not doing that.
As long as you're not invalidating people and you're just talking. Like us doing that if you know us, we're never making fun of marginalized groups or marginalized people or even people always in general. Usually what we're going after is we're satirizing and we are trolling. So when we did that post, that was completely a troll to make fun of our parents who didn't understand that it was fake. It had nothing to do with
it's making fun of the people that are like, oh my gosh, this is actually going to happen. Like, I'm so scared. They're going to put litter boxes in the school. Like, no, they're not.
Yeah, they're not doing that.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
And even if they do, just don't go to that bathroom.
Right. At least the litter boxes will be in their own stalls.
The same people pissed about it have litter boxes at home that haven't been changed in weeks. So.
That is pretty weird that someone would take that serious. I wonder, like that's out of touch reality or something.
Well, I also think that they live in a world that they want it to be real so that they can like
have something to be offended by,
and also so they can just like dismiss the whole I guess if furries are bullshit, then I guess trans people are bullshit. And that's where I think I understood where Spencer was coming from, but that was not our intent. And if you'd have just asked us, we could have clarified our intent. And this article up here, the one we got with the addiction stigma, that was done by Kokomo Perspective, rest in peace, and they reached out and did a whole article and asked us questions, whereas with Tribune they just assumed our intent and called it a day, which drove me fucking crazy because like we're not transphobic, we're not rude, we're not mean, we're not like that at all.
I mean, we talked about crackheads on our shit before, so like what the hell?
It happens. Well, this one we did top 5 places to OD in Kokomo and we went to different places, and it was interesting.
But it got people talking though.
Yeah,
like,
and people
were talking about it. And
it was funny how many addiction counselors and stuff got to go. We gave them airtime, and it's funny because they end up getting airtime because of it. There's a whole thing in the article of a guy talking, and we did an interview with WTHR too, and there was a guy named Kevin Sprinkle who went on there and told his piece and got to speak his positivity. And to me, it's like if we wouldn't have done that, you wouldn't have got this platform. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think they get our intention, and that's what happens half the time. They think every time. If I make a joke that I think is too far, I will delete it. It's very rare because I don't.
Make a joke and I say it's too far.
Oh yeah, what are you doing, girl? This girl is an alcoholic. Let's everybody check it.
No, we showed a clip of this guy who it was like a real life Tyrone Biggums clip.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he sounded just like him too. He got caught smoking crack. I guess the police officer went up there and was like, "What are you doing in there?" He's like, "I'm not smoking crack." Yeah, like so you need to know I was a security guard in California. I've dealt with heroin addicts, meth addicts, all that shit.
All of it.
Like I could tell you so many crazy stories of dealing with drugs and all that shit from being a security guard.
Yeah.
And like so that kind of shit, like I would see the humor in it and understand like if if it gets attention, then like help fix the problem. You're wasting time being mad at the person that posted that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna take you off camera so you can get your drink, okay? So you don't have to worry about it. So go ahead and do your thing.
But yeah, that's just one thing I dealt with. I've dealt with a lot of drug addicts.
Finish the first one.
Okay. We've had serious conversations with them, funny conversations. Yeah. Some tried to fight me, some tried to stab me, some tried to be friends. You know what I mean? It's it's just a problem like that wouldn't like if you really care about it, have anything to do with it, you wouldn't be worried about the person posting it. You would be worried about.
I think
the
that's
problem.
important to say because like people that actually have to deal with like people that are close to it aren't going to get offended. It's people that want to be offended on behalf of somebody else. Yeah, which is weird.
It's always like I knew somebody that was an addict, and they're going to be really upset about this. It's never the addict.
Like I have a friend I have a friend of a friend of a friend who was an addict.
Yeah.
So, and you're treating them so badly, and it's like in my head, I'm like, why don't you get offended by things that have to do with you? Don't get offended on behalf of people.
Or get off the phone and go help the motherfucker.
Exactly.
Or instead of getting offended on Facebook, do something about it. Reach out to that person and be like, hey, how does this make you feel?
Yeah.
Like if they're actually offended, maybe they'll say something.
I've had people in the comments who get offended by a joke who don't understand the intent, but they're legitimately offended and they have a reason to be offended because they've lived something. And I feel bad for those people. And like a lot of times I will delete the joke if I think that they're right. But most of the time they don't understand the intent and they are wrong. And that's the part that like I can't get in their head, which is like, I understand what you're saying. I understand how you can misconstrue it that way, but I explain to you where the intent is, and if you're still upset, then you're just trying to be mad, and that's part of it. Like I had that happen with that IV rehab thing, like when Brian made a joke about IV rehab being a rehab for kids on drugs, and it's really for kids that have been like have.
But who hasn't drove by there and thought that?
And that was the joke. Was like the joke to him was like, haha, isn't this a stupid thing to think that that's what that is? Like when you first see it, IV rehab for kids,
right?
But really, it's not like a drug rehab. It's for kids to rehabilitate their body, for the speech and all this stuff. And there are great. I know people that have kids that go there.
Yeah,
I am not making fun of those kids. It has nothing to do with that. Brian even said in the post something around on the lines of like on drugs. Like, it made it very clear that it had nothing to do with what they actually do there. And I guess they fielded some questions people were calling up there, and I'm like, who are these idiots that really thought it was a drug rehab for kids? Come on.
Maybe there should be a drug rehab for kids.
In this town, we probably do need one.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't they just send kids to regular rehab though?
Yeah, exactly. That's usually what happens. And even then, like usually, you're kids, you're resilient. Your brain will grow back. You'll be all right.
No, that's not how it works. But...
It's like, no, that's not how it works. That's not how brains work at all. I don't blame you at all.
I mean, with as many kids that are born into addictions, like maybe they should.
I do want to do this before Brian kills me. I have to call out. We do have this night of comedy coming up. It's August 5th.
You didn't post the right picture.
What? This is the right one.
No, you have to post the one with your face out of it.
Oh, shit. You're right. I got to get my face ripped out of it. Somebody ripped my face out at Cooper's Pub. But yeah, we have a night of comedy live at American Dream Hi-Fi on August 5th. It's at 8 p.m. It's only $5 tickets. You're going to see Brian. You're going to see me hosting. There's going to be another comic that's not even on here, so you're going to get another comic that you don't know about. And then you're going to get Lucas Waterfield, who was 2017 Funniest Person in Cincinnati, winner of 2018 Trial by Laughter on Comcast, and 2021 Funniest Person in Annie.
Didn't we do a video of him last time? He's really funny.
Oh, yeah, we watched it. We didn't watch it on the podcast, but we watched it. We also have Harvest Fest coming up. So, Brian West, Jordan Granger, and of course Sean Delrampa will be out there. Plus bands. It's gonna be. They had a shit ton of new vendors. They've got a taco truck.
Did they get the
snow cones?
They did.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited about some tacos, dude. Every year I go out there, I always have to somebody's like, I'm making a hot dog, and I'm like,
yeah, that we always make hot dogs in the fires.
Like, fucking kill me. I don't want your shitty hot dog over a fire.
You know what's in hot dogs?
Yeah. Well, tell me about it. What's in a hot dog?
I mean, not good shit. Not stuff that's good for you. There's sometimes live bacteria and shit in there.
Did I tell you about the guy that I work with that used to work in a factory that did what was it? He worked in a factory that did hot dogs and bologna, and they said that at one point everything had fallen on the floor and there was people spitting in it and stuff. And I'm like, why would you tell me that?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have. I mean,
people spitting in the meat and they just sweep it up off the floor and just put it back in.
So he did chicken wing, hot dog, and bologna?
Yes.
Chilling with his homies?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. You know that song? You
I
know
do
any
know
kids?
that song.
Oh, you do? Okay, I was wondering
Yeah.
if you had any kids. I'm like, that's a kid thing.
Nobody should be eating hot dogs, bologna, none of that shit, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. You give me a bologna sandwich. Ooh.
I don't care. I still like hot dogs.
You can get good versions of that stuff that isn't gross too. By the way, like
That
you don't have
man
to buy the
also tried
cheapest
to
one.
tell me that I shouldn't ever eat chicken nuggets, and I'm like, you need to get the fuck away from me.
You have one on your fucking arm.
Yeah,
like you
fuck
have.
that
She
guy.
has a
Chicken
tattoo
nuggets
of a chicken
aren't
nugget.
really great either, honestly.
You don't
But they're
talk
not
to
as
me
bad as
anymore.
they're not as bad as bologna and hot dogs.
Show
though.
Dave your chicken nugget. He has to see it. Look at that. She has a chicken nugget on her arm.
This is my life.
Courtney, I always forget how tatted up you are, girl. You're like straight up.
I'm tatted up, bro.
If only you had musical
I need
abilities.
more. As long as I have what?
If you had musical abilities, you'd be so punk rock
Right?
now.
I
I
am.
think I want to get
Fishnets.
it like either a Loki tattoo. I think, yeah, that's when I get the Loki tattoo.
This is my trash sleeve.
Loki?
Yeah,
Like as in like the
but the actual like Norse.
oh
rune symbol.
baller.
Oh,
dude.
cool.
I thought you were something like low key. Like I got a low key.
No, no.
I realized then,
That's what I thought.
That's what I
Like
was
Loki from like Marvel and Norse mythology.
That's
type
baller,
That'd be
dude.
cool.
You're gonna get the. Can you say the name of the hammer? I can't say it.
Mjolnir.
I can't say it, dude. I can't. Every time I try to say it, I fuck it. Me.
You're like Meow Meow.
The guy you had on the podcast, he was also in Thor.
Yeah, David stays in Thor. Check that out. He's
There
in
was
the
a guy from
background.
Kokomo that did the voice. I remember this for a while back. It's in the paper. He did the voice of. Is it Doomsday? Not Doomsday. What's the big bad from DC that they just did in the movies? Darkseid.
Darkseid?
He did the voice of Darkseid in the Justice League.
Wait,
Darkseid-
he's from
Darkseid.
Kokomo?
And he did the voice of Darkseid. Isn't that badass?
Hold on.
You gotta find this guy, right? You're like,
Yeah.
I gotta get him on the pod, bruh.
Yeah, like what the hell?
Yeah, it was in the. He doesn't live in Kokomo now, I don't think, but he's from Kokomo, and they had him do the voice of Darkseid in the Justice League. They knew they weren't going to do any more, I guess, so they used him. But like either way, he had a really cool voice in it. But I just thought it was pretty lit that in general that happened at all. But anyway, check out Harvest Fest this year. Check us out. We will be out there. This is absolutely free. It's all ages. Bring the kiddos, and then you can get them out of there by 9. But we're gonna have a lot going on here with like Peacehead, Rachel and Lou, Patron,
I'm
Resin,
gonna join your band, okay?
Patron. I said Patron. You're already in the band, aren't you?
I'm gonna be in the band.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't think so.
Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
play like the triangle or something.
You should play the
Cowbell.
skin flute.
I already do that for the band.
Also, while he's looking this up, check out Caitlin Myers'
Oh, yeah, I'm looking
Spotlight.
this up.
Check this out. Caitlin Myers' Creative Spotlight. You check this out. She's going to be at Harvest Fest. Check out our TikTok React video and check out Courtney's starring role in
I love that video.
Journey. The results may vary. But yeah, that was a fun video to shoot. I mean, it was crazy as fuck. But
Says his name is Ray Porter.
yeah, that's him. Yep. From Kokomo. He did the voice of Darkseid, which is pretty cool, right? Kokomo's
Crazy.
got some pretty cool. We've got a lot of people that are pretty good at things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like I can do a British accent.
me hear it.
Lenny can right now.
There you go.
All right, could I get some fish and chips, mate?
It almost has Australian to it, but I'll give it to you.
It's an Australian plus British accent because I don't know the fucking words, mate. It's like
Courtney, what are you good at?
fly me out to London, I
What?
might find out, mate.
I can do a southern accent.
Let's hear how bad this is.
No.
No,
Well,
I lived in Kentucky for a while.
for a while,
For a while.
for a long while.
every
No.
now and then I call people and I play this character named Pastor Bill. And I'm like, you need to change your life. You've been doing some immoral things and partying too much. And everybody like freaks the fuck out.
Like, is this Dave trying to do a Spanish accent or?
There was
Funny
like
enough, Dalton
a
did know.
whole year where me and Lauren just did like a southern accents all the time.
Oh my god.
I'm
Because
really
she
good
was
at
born in
Southern
Georgia
accent.
and I lived in Kentucky for a while.
Yeah, those are southern enough, I guess. Oh, Georgia, but
Well,
Kentucky's like.
well,
barely.
How
I
would
was an
you-
Army brat, so I lived on the base.
Well, how would you guys react to that prank call? Like a pastor, like, this is Pastor Bill, and I heard you've been partying, just having way too much threesomes.
Yeah.
You need to change your life. I'm going to help you with that.
Well, I already have a neighbor that does that to me constantly.
Like, Pastor Bill, you've called the wrong number. There are no threesomes happening here. My girl would fucking kill me if I ever
That's
had a
My
threesome.
neighbor comes over and is like, I saw you at a Ouija board.
Oh yeah, he's like worried about it.
He's like, yeah, he's so worried.
Have you ever used it?
Yeah.
Oh, you did say you're a ghost hunter. I don't fuck with that shit, bro.
She's the
None of
coldest,
that.
dude. She's a fuck. I told you she's a witch for real.
So I like
That's why I said
believe,
that.
like I say, like that shit's real. So I don't mess with it because it's real. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
so when we did it when I was younger, and we talked to Tupac a couple times.
Get the- if you go, like, you can't say that without the recording or something.
Yeah, you gotta have.
You gotta have some proof of that. That's something you need proof of.
I was like 15.
She's like, I don't know anybody dead except for Tupac.
No, that's who they said they were, was Tupac.
Oh my god.
The ghost in my Ouija board was Neb.
He just kept saying song lyrics. She was just like, "Dear Mama, All eyes on me.
Like it was me and Stephanie. Stephanie was sitting across from me. I had my eyes closed and I was like crying.
And it was like, and instead it was like Tupac. Like, come the fuck on. What are you, like a scary person? Or
Probably
like,
someone else completely. Just...
Well, she had saw a ghost in her closet that day. Like she was laying on her bed, looked over at her closet. Her closet was right next to her bed, and like she saw a hand reach around her closet like that and like peek its head out. And then she drew a picture of the little girl that she saw, and it ended up being a little girl that her entire family has seen. Like, her entire family has seen this little girl, so we used the Ouija board to try to talk to her to find out who it was.
Thank God we did this podcast.
Turns out it was Tupac.
Yeah, we were crying. And the whole time it was Tupac. He was the little girl, like, all eyes on me.
But then, like, after a while, it started getting, like, redundant, like, shit on the Ouija board.
Hail Mary.
And then I was like, who are we? Can we talk to Tupac?
I can't.
She's like, actually, he's right here.
He's like, yeah, he's right. We got him.
You guys got fake.
Why'd you say that? I didn't even want to be here. Like,
you guys got fake Tupac, just like you guys see. I don't know if you guys saw this in the news, but you guys had fake Tupac on your guys' Ouija board. This guy is fake Joe Biden. So apparently, this Texas farmer was arrested.
I thought I was good with that segue.
For using illegal immigrants for free labor by pretending to be Joe Biden and threatening to deport them.
Oh shit! He said I'm passing checks like Joe Biden. That's how it go, man. That's
this guy's out here pretending to be Joe Biden. And did you see his? Like, look at this guy. He looks like Joe Biden. He really does. Like, that is JB.
Honestly, though, like
that's Joe Biden right there.
I'm just saying, if you look that close, like he's a bad person, but I can't say it's a bad. Like I can't say he's not a genius.
He was just picking him up from Home Depot.
I think that actually might have been my Home Depot. Somebody's phone. I think that's your phone, right? Let's move it away from the mic.
Oh,
please. Sorry, not trying to be crazy. It goes. You guys can't hear it. It's in the headphones. No, it's no.
Did you figure out if that's what it was?
Yeah, it is what it is. When somebody has their phone close, that's why I gotta get them a little bit away. Yeah, but like anyway, this guy in general, he just looks like he looks like he's wearing a mask of Joe Biden. It doesn't even look like it looks like him, but it looks like a mask. Like, it doesn't.
He's just an average-looking old man with white hair. Like
he's out here like. He's like, if you...
My grandpa could also pass as Joe Biden.
So, okay, so he basically was telling him, like, I'm Joe Biden. If you don't work me for free, I'll deport you.
Yeah, he's like, if you don't work for me, you ain't black.
Do they really?
Oh, my God, that was some bullshit, bro. That was some bullshit. But I'm just trying to understand, like... How the fuck would you take that deal? Like, don't you still got kids to feed? What, you gonna work two jobs and not get paid for one?
Yeah, the whole point of coming over here is to work to get money to take care of your family. So, like, at what point were you like, okay, deport me then, fuck it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, what you going, like, okay, I'm gonna do 12 hours here. The other 12 hours I'll work and actually get paid. Like, what the... Yeah. How the fuck was that working?
They probably worked, and then he was like, they're like, where's my money? And he's like, you're not getting any.
But they come over here because they want to be safe.
Oh, that came.
Use the mic.
I know I was turning it on.
So you're saying he offered him money, but then just give it, okay. Well, in that case, they should just beat his ass.
Well, maybe he was giving them a place to stay and not deporting them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Grouped up on his ass.
Either way, he's a bitch.
He's a fucking bitch.
Honestly, all the men should have just grouped up on his ass. Straight beat his ass, bro.
Yeah, they should.
Dead ass.
And seriously, dude, a bunch of them just jumping his ass like... Hey, taco burrito, let's go.
I'll beat his ass. Call him Joe
Biden.
That
is racist.
But yeah,
I'll beat his ass. Call him Joe Biden.
I'm just saying. That's not a threat. That's a fucking comedy song.
Joe Biden, JB.
Yeah, like
I was like, baby.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm Joe Biden beating people's ass with these high inflation. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Did you guys hear about hoflation?
Oh, God.
I got another one here. She knows about this one already, but this is actually hoflation. This is somebody put this
Didn't I share that?
Yeah. Modern men have to work 5 times harder than their grandfathers did for women 20 times worse than what their grandmothers were. It's called hoflation, and it's destroying Western men's desires to be providers and protectors.
And this is the truest thing I've ever seen in my life, because this is exactly why I'm single right now.
Yeah. There's nobody out there compared to the grandma, man. Grandma's better than all of them.
Oh, my God.
Fuck you.
No, I mean, as far as, like, women were built different back then, man. You know what I mean?
And
like,
no one wants to admit that shit, bro.
Nobody will admit it. Women nowadays, you guys hate each other, but you
hate
also hate us, and you're also like big in the worst part. Like, did you watch the new Bill Burr special at all?
A lot of toxic shit. You know what I mean?
Funny. Oh, it's so toxic. But one of the things he talks about is like how women are mad at men for not supporting women's like sports, and he's like, "That's you're supposed to do that." But you guys would rather watch the Kardashians tear each other down.
That's the misogynistic part of this podcast.
You know, every single week we have to have the misogynistic part of the podcast.
But can we just say that we are at a point in American society that it's basically like wrong to fucking say anything wrong about what women do, even if it's actually wrong or not. Is that true or not?
It's facts. You're actually she's cheating.
And then look, I want to be 100% clear what I'm saying, because I understand the discrepancies. I'm a guy. I like vagina. Yeah. I understand that me talking about like something that woman does annoying is going to stop me from getting vagina. Nonetheless, we are adults. We can say, hey, you're doing something that is a fucking annoying to me. That's all I'm trying to say. And I notice it just gets really uncomfortable. And it's just childish. Now listen, I just want to say this. If we don't talk about it all day, that's cool. But one conversation is not crazy. That's all I'm trying to say. That's it.
See, in a relationship, there has to be communication. Yeah. Like if I'm doing something wrong and you tell me that I'm doing something wrong, then I will try my best not to do it. But then if you say that to a man, it turns into like, no, that's just who I am, and I'm gonna leave you for it. Like,
you're dating the wrong guys.
Right. Yeah. Well, they're all the wrong damn guys.
It sounds like you're picking all the wrong guys, because I'm not like that. I know a lot of guys aren't like that.
Yeah, but we've had this conversation, Courtney, where you like a certain type of guy, and the guy that likes you first, like the guy that comes to you and is like, I really like you, you're like, no thanks.
Well, a lot of people have that problem.
Clingy much?
Wow, you're awfully gross.
But look, this is the thing. A lot of people, they won't like, what's the best? I won't say they won't admit it, but they don't realize it. But like, if you really want a good life long term, you're going to pick the thing that's best for your life, which might not be the person that's making you jump through 8,000 hoops to get with them.
That's
I notice like a lot of guys make that mistake, but women do it a lot too.
You're young, right?
I'm 28.
He's 28. Yeah. See?
I'm 33.
No, but I mean, I'm about to be 35 this year.
You can't continue chasing waterfalls. Eventually,
but here's the thing.
I don't want to chase nothing.
Here's the good thing. Here's the good news.
That's the problem.
I promise you.
It depends where you are. You know, sometimes some women have to chase. Okay, I'll just say it. Some women have to chase.
I don't want to.
Okay, but look. And then that's why we said you're going to be single. I'm not saying you are, but you have that choice to be single forever. But listen, I'll just say it because no one wants to tell women this. Some of you will have to chase. The way some men have to chase because they're not attractive, whatever it is, some women are just going to have to chase. Just grow up and accept it or be single forever. Yeah. But don't complain because that shit gets annoying.
Well, there's two different sides of the spectrum. The first side of the spectrum is for women. The women that don't have to fight are highly extremely attractive, and the men that don't have to fight are highly extremely rich
or attractive too. There's a mix.
I don't think so. I think eventually a woman
my problem with men is the first thing they say to me is, wow, you're so pretty. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Like, that doesn't matter. Talk to me. Get to know me as a person. Like, I don't care whether you are attracted to me.
But you have to think about all these movies. Think about how all these movies work and how every girl in every movie, it's like the guy's like, oh my God, you're just stunningly beautiful.
Yeah, we're taught by TV, so that's a big problem.
It's just, it's so...
But you're looking for an intelligent guy, it sounds like.
I want somebody that can, like, talk to me. I want somebody that can be my friend.
Yeah,
like,
that's
I don't
good.
want
That's
somebody
not
that's
crazy.
like, oh my God, you're pretty, I'm going to have to take care of you. Like, no, I can take care of you.
Now, that's going to be hard to find in Kokomo, though.
Can we just be nuanced and say it's both?
Yeah.
You want a guy that thinks you're pretty, but doesn't feel like he has to say it in order to fuck you. You want a guy that wants... You want him to... In order to fuck him, in order to want to like be with him and like have a relationship, and like when I say fuck, I mean have a relationship because that's all that matters.
I mean, you do got to be attracted to a person, that
right?
matters,
But I don't want the first thing to say is like, "Oh my God, you're pretty." Like,
that's not crazy.
If you're let me just say this, guys. If you're messaging a woman in DMs, she knows you think she's pretty, or at least you think she's fuckable,
right? Like,
or at least the least likely thing is you think that she's fuckable, at least.
Now it depends who you're talking to, because I've had women do the thing of like, so what are your intentions? I'm like, what do you fucking think?
Yeah, like there's.
I promise you, I don't want to start a book club. I can fucking promise you that.
We gotta tap dance around the fucking thing. But you guys, if you guys want to do it, you guys all you have to do is bring it up and it's over. Like it's you guys. Okay, there's this stupid show that I've been watching with my girl, and I know this is kind of bringing it down a little bit, but there's this stupid show that I watch with my girl called Married at First Sight. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it.
It's so bad. Oh my God.
Listen, I normally I don't watch this type of show at all, but me and my girl have enjoyed it so much because I just roast the people the whole time. Like I watch the show and I'm just roasting every person, like making fun of them, because it creates this. It's like, hey, instead of focusing on sex, instead of focusing on a relationship, we're just gonna make you married and let you figure it all out in front of the world.
Right.
It's hilarious. And we've been watching this. The one we've been watching recently, like they moved from Washington D.C. and I really enjoyed the D.C. one because all the people were hot. Well, then they moved to New Orleans and the people are not hot in New Orleans. That's what I found out. The people in New Orleans are not.
I mean, it's really like the community shit. Like we talk about on our show, like if you're from a community where people don't like, you know, we said New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
They be eating unhealthy there. Let's keep the buck. Like,
you're
not gonna have too many people with guns like this. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just playing. But yeah, I mean, and then like I lived in California, people there, they're health conscious, so like that matters. You know what I mean?
In DC, a lot of those people are like they're like political people, so they have to be. It's part of their
Yeah,
part of their
looks
shtick is they have to
matter,
look
yeah.
good. You do
Look good in a suit, especially. Yeah.
and don't tell Joe Biden that, but like you're supposed to look good. The dude's riding his bike, falls down. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But I do. I mean,
People in Indiana are.
I made the joke about the
Indiana's
women.
not a healthy. Shit, that's one
It's like,
problem.
we're like 48th.
I have that problem, bro. Listen, I'm gonna tell you straight up. A lot of women like will try to hit me up, and I'm just like, we're not even close to living the same lifestyles. Like, it's just, come on, what are we
Here's
gonna
my
do?
thing.
Like, come on.
But I just realized this in the moment, and you guys are gonna know this. You guys have the same problem. Your problem with men is the same problem he has with women. Is you guys don't want to deal with the bullshit. You guys just want things to be real from the jump, right? That's really what you're saying when you say, you know, like if you're asking me what my intentions, like obviously I want to fuck you. That's why I want you. Don't you want me to? Want to?
Yeah, like, you're an adult woman. Do you not like sex? Okay, if you don't, I will just find a woman that does. Like,
but it's
what the
weird.
fuck?
Like that's not all I want. But if you're gonna,
of course.
why do I have to dance around it? And then for you, I know that you've dealt with like, listen, like I want a guy who's attractive, a guy who's interesting, and a lot of time what you get are really sloppy guys, and you're like, this isn't for me. I don't want a guy who's sloppy. You've been spending the last 7-8 months.
You said it perfectly when you said that I want a man that will treat me like a woman, and I don't have to be the man in the relationship.
And the problem is you've spent too much time being, and I'm not. Then if anybody watches
in
it,
like a hypothetical way,
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like I've had to be the one in charge of everything all the time, and I don't want to do that.
I think that if you define your roles early on, which I think people have problems doing because they don't want to, they find somebody they really are interested in, and you're afraid to lose them by defining.
No, I'm
roles.
straight up to the get go.
But you're 33, and this is what I'm saying with him being 28. You're getting ready to age into the women that are going to define who they are. Like they're going to define the roles early on, and you're going to have such a great time, bro. Like I can't wait for you. I'm excited.
A lot of the problem is like people really aren't even like taking dating serious. Like they're still like said I'm just banging, just having fun.
Baby.
You know,
That's your 20s.
People are like, bro, you're like 30 now, though. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
some people are holding on a little longer than others.
Yeah,
and
that's
some of
what
us
I'm
just,
saying.
you know, I started dating Shelby when I was 31. I had just turned 30 the year before. I was 31 when I started dating her. And then when we originally started dating, like I wasn't dating to date. We were dating to like get to know each other. Like we wanted to hang out, but we weren't ever thinking like we're gonna have a kid, buy a house, and settle down and get engaged and married. And then we got to know each other, and what I found out was naturally just from me not like trying to make it. It was weird. I got out of my own fucking way. Instead of me trying to make the relationship feeling, I just let everything be normal, and I was honest and open from the get-go. And then naturally I realized that like naturally things progressed in a better, healthier way.
Right.
And I feel like you don't always feel comfortable doing that with bitches on Tinder.
See, that's my thing is like I want to be friends with the person before.
It's important.
So yeah, I'm that makes sense. I always run into women who like they're like I'll just say it, they're in the whole phase. Like, okay, that's cool, but like if you don't like have the intentions to maybe get in a relationship, then I'm wasting my time. Like we don't, and it might not work. I understand that.
Right.
But if you're basically saying straight up, yeah, we're only gonna hang out for a couple of weeks, then you might as well just find someone else.
No.
Like that's a waste of my time. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, yeah.
It's just childish for no
Absolutely.
reason.
Well, you guys had that big podcast where you had your ex on, and I remember there was a little backlash from that. You were like, "Man, this is what happened," and I know that you learned a lot. I think that's a hard thing to do in general. And let me applaud you first. Like it's
I will
a
never
very
have my
difficult
ex on this podcast.
It would be very hard to sit down and have somebody you had sincere feelings for and have like a podcast where you're almost like doing a post-mortem of the relationship, which is you guys weren't originally doing that, but it got into that, and then I feel like it kind of devolved. So I mean, it was very brave, bro.
I can't believe
we had a whole another plan, but that didn't go well, and then it was
brave.
It was rough.
Though. Even if it didn't work out the way you guys thought it was going to, it was a really. You guys check out. Do you remember what number it was? It's like
50.
Is it 50? Yeah, I thought it was.
But I can honestly say I truly am over the situation and learned from it. Like I wouldn't be the person I am today without it. Like
it's a very interesting episode.
I've told her before. Like at this point in my life, I can say I'm glad I went through it and got through it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I'm over it
It's
now.
crazy how shit works like that, man. I look back on a lot of like relationships that I had before. Like me and my ex-wife, we have a kid together, but now we're friends. Like we're good. Like
you have the perfect co-parenting relationship.
People say that, but you know where it
I
started.
Knew,
you were around.
That's me coming from knowing where it came from.
We went a long way. Took a long way. I mean, my kid's 12 years old now.
Oh, okay.
So when we split up, it was between him turning 2 and 3, and it took a while. But in the last few years, we've really got caught a stride where like there's no like when we fight, literally when we start to like get nippy with each other, like one of us will be like, this isn't about you. I'm so like, we'll like bring it back in and be like,
right.
listen, I'm sorry that I have an attitude. This isn't even about you. This is personal. Sorry, like I'm being an idiot, and we realize it. Both of us have done that, and she's honestly like she's such a great mother, and I appreciate everything she does. And the funny thing is like the man that she's married, like my son's stepdad, great guy. Fucking love him. Like. He is the sweetest guy. He cares about my kid without trying to be his dad. Like, he knows who he is. He knows who I am. He knows I'm a good dad, so he knows he doesn't have to take that role. And it's like when you know that the mom is the mom and the dad is the dad, you're not worried about a stepmom or a stepdad because you know your roles are clearly defined. And I think that's I think that's what it all comes down to, even with the relationship stuff, is like if you clearly define the roles in general, like if you know what you're doing, if you know how everybody feels, at the end of the day, everybody's happy.
Right.
Even if it fucks up the beginning of every relationship you have, eventually you're going to find somebody that's like, ooh, I like this.
Well, it's just maturity. Once like people realize, if someone wants to date you, you got kids, they're willing to work with that. But then the other side, once the two parents care, like the kid's life matters first, and we got to get over our bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
I got a shirt made, Kids Lives Matter. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's funny. No, I'm going to say one thing about our generation, that shit is getting better.
Yeah,
like,
we are.
Like there are people doing toxic shit, sure, but I see a lot of people like they're like we're co-parenting, we're making sure our kids are getting their shit first, and like even like one thing I want to say about the Mario's teaching me because he's got kids, he'll have an argument with his one of his kids' moms, but at the end of the day, the kid comes first. They're putting that to the side and making sure the kids are straight.
That's exactly how it should
and that
be.
shit, that's teaching me a lot. Just learning that kind of shit from him.
Right.
That's just maturity. You gotta, what your priorities got to be first, basically.
Absolutely. And I think that a lot of that has to do, as much as we give shit to the internet and social media and stuff, a lot of that has to do with social media and the internet helping in a way because. If you, let's say me, I'll use myself as an example, so I'm not throwing anybody else under the bus, but I grew up with a dad in the home. And I had a stepdad who was, he did the best he could in a lot of ways, but he's also pretty distant sometimes because I wasn't his kid, and I kind of get the sentiment, and he's not a very emotional guy in general. So It's like, not only is like, am I not his kid, but he's also not a very emotional guy. He only has enough emotional energy for his kids. And I didn't, and he was nice. He would treat me good. He'd have me around and stuff. But as I got older, the only way I could see a modeled, other than TV, the only way you could see a modeled dad is like on the internet. You start to learn, and then you start to see, like you can get that father figure or that version of like what a man is supposed to be. You don't have to get it from a person in your life.
I think that's
now.
my problem.
Yeah,
because I've never had like a father figure that was actually a good father figure.
Your dad's there though.
My dad's there, but he's also very angry all the time.
He's from that older generation, man.
Yeah,
I think that's the
and
issue.
then I had that terrible stepdad.
Yeah, your stepdad was a fucking piece. Yeah. Go fuck yourself, Jim. What is his name?
My dad is Jim.
Brian
is my
Jim's the shit. My bad. I fucked up.
Well, maybe
Jim's the shit. I like Jim.
What's cool. Like, I'm sure there's like a movie out, like a good dad movie you could watch and just be like, hey, that's, find a guy like that,
I was at a concert and I saw this, it was a mom, a dad, and their daughter. Their daughter was like older. She was probably like over 18. And like the dad was like hugging her. I was like, that's gross. Really? And I'm like, no, that's just me.
That's just you. Like if your dad did it, you'd be
it depends how.
My dad's, like a dad would be like, they were like, he had his arm around her shoulder and they were like dancing back and forth, like the music and stuff.
Oh,
and,
okay. That I wouldn't say
he would like play with their hair and stuff like a dad.
But that's not your experience with your father.
But my dad, if my dad ever like,
not him.
My dad was very like anti anything that had to do with like being affectionate.
Right.
So like seeing that, I'm like, ooh,
but
that
he'll
makes me
also
uncomfortable.
help you get a car.
Like,
well, yeah, that's.
But he did.
But I'm saying like he did
paid
it.
for my love. He just didn't show it. Like,
but that's what I mean. Some people don't have, and I think that's what I've learned as almost in my mid-30s is some people do not have the emotional capacity. They don't. Maybe his dad was even worse than him.
See,
and he's
his
so
dad
much
was.
better.
He was,
and he's doing his best.
Like I disliked my mom for a really long time because she was very. She would spend more time with her friends and she would do all this other kind of stuff and like not pay it like.
I mean, that's a lot of people in America, really.
Right, like
that's really our culture.
She would invite me to go do stuff, but then she'd also invite her friends. Like I would like to have a mom. I don't want my mom to be my friend. I want my mom to be my mom.
But that's how she is.
But then I got to the point where I was like, I understand you just don't know how to love me the way that you love me, and I forgive you for that. So I will just accept the fact that that's the way you love me, and I will just go along with it. Like
that's a big part of anybody you deal with, like. People like you, basically the role they offer or want to play in your life. If you're not accepting of that, then What you gonna do?
You either have to accept it or you have to say fuck it. I don't care.
Right.
So I don't want to cut off family members because they don't know how to love me the way that I feel like I should be.
Well,
but
I'm different. I cut people off.
But you have to understand that they don't know how to do
20s
it.
versus 30s over here.
Right.
I get what you're saying because when you're young, you don't have the energy to deal with it. But as you get older, you start to see that flaws.
Yeah.
Well, you have them too.
Like
and you don't want people to be mean to you.
They
about
have
your
the
flaws.
same mental issues. They have the same mental issues that we had growing up, but they didn't have the support.
Boom. That's a
so
big
my
one.
thing about cutting people off is more about like, are they willing to work on it and recognize it and stuff? But
which is
it's
absolutely
people who aren't willing to
fine.
do that I cut off is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get it.
You have to meet in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
There's a saying that people say now that I've heard that I think is super important, which is meet people where they are.
Yeah.
And then pull them towards the middle.
Right.
I think that's important because sometimes people don't know where they're at.
But if there's also people in your life that
lost.
aren't really like significant parts of your life, like my mom is an important part of my life, and she's always been there.
You're gonna
but
give
like,
your mom more chances
so I'm
than
gonna
a
give
coworker.
my coworker or this girl that I'm constantly fighting with, or like a friend that won't go
also,
away.
Your parents have been around you your whole life. So although like you remember. As human beings, we remember negative emotion more than positive.
100%.
And women, it's even worse. You guys remember.
I cannot remember one good thing that's ever happened to me, but I can remember all the bad.
But the good news is, they remember the positive. So that's why I feel like you have to be around them so you can hear those things.
Yes,
you have to hear them because you'll be like, the other day I went to lunch with my brother. He came in town. He dropped my mom off, and we went to El Ario's. And while we were there, my mom was telling stories when we were kids, and I had a minute. It's very similar to this. Like I had a minute where I was like, "Damn, man, I forgot about that." And then she tells a story, and my brother was saying the same. I forgot about that, and then you flood back that positive. And I feel like it's super important. The older people in your life have a really great way of remembering you before when you didn't remember.
Like with our kids, like they're gonna remember all the times that we yelled at them and they got in trouble, but like we're gonna remember all the fun things that we did together. So it's like. My kids are going to remember all the times that I got on to them about, like, not cleaning the room and all this other stuff. Yeah, but I'm going to remember, like, all the times we went and did stuff. Elena's like, we never do anything. I'm like, we do stuff all the time.
Yeah. Like the scars remind us that the past is real.
Right. Thank you.
But I think that just goes to where, like, a lot of, like, existence, especially learning things, is just a lot of stuff is harsh like that. Like, you got to go through a lot of harsh lessons to learn stuff. A lot of advancing in life, growth. Like, growth isn't fun, basically. No. It's necessary,
no, it's not at all.
But not fun, you know what I mean?
You got to get through it. And I think that's important in general. Just, people in Kokomo, we've got a lot going on around here. It's a small town, but like that's one of the things that I like about you, Davey and Dalton, and your guys' podcast and stuff is we reached out to each other, we talked, we tried to get you on here before we had a little bit of a scheduling thing because you were working on the weekends. Yeah. But that's why I'm so happy that we finally got to have Davey on because you guys are great. It's a fun hang on the podcast. You guys sometimes will have like, I remember one time I saw like 5 motherfuckers in there, not including you guys. There's like 7 of y'all. Yeah, and you guys are just in there clowning, having a good time. And I really like the vibe and the atmosphere of what you guys do. And I'm seriously, people, you guys have got to check these guys. We got to call it quits in a minute, but you guys have got to check out Is That Right Podcast, hosted by Davey and Dalton. This is Davey. Check them out on YouTube. They're everywhere that you can listen to podcasts, on Apple, on Spotify. They even on TikTok, at least for a while. We'll see how much longer
they're on. That lasts,
But check these guys out, man. They're a lot of fun. They're young, but you guys have such a cool vibe about the show in general. So this one, we're a little heavier sometimes. We deal with some topics. You guys are more like philosophical. I love the way you guys do the
also drink mimosas the whole time.
Yeah, I kind of fucks with it because I like what you said, like it's Kokomo. So if we're on the vibe that Kokomo is, if Kokomo's on a darker vibe right now, that's you're vibing on. I fucks with that, for real.
And a lot of the times those are the episodes people enjoy. Then they come back to me and they say, hey man, I really like your guys' take. I didn't think about that. Or they'll be like, yeah man, I was watching that shit. Hate punching the air. Like I'm with you on that. So like I appreciate that stuff. But check these guys out. Seriously, like I can't recommend them enough because they're a lot of fun. And Davey, you're great at, like, you do such a good job at editing and putting things together and art and all the things you guys do together. So check these guys out. I've been Jordan Granger. This is Kokomo Press Podcast.
Courtney Richardson.
WTFDave ITR.
Check him out. He's on Twitter too. Come to my Twitter. Go to his Twitter. Let's have a good time. Let's goof off. We love you guys. We'll see you guys soon. Two kisses.
Peace.
Woo! Thank you for listening to this episode of the Kokomo Press Podcast. We really appreciate you. Check us out on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, on all the social medias you can find us on. Or, if you want to, listen to us on Spotify, Apple, or, of course, our full video podcast is located on YouTube, the Kokomo Press. Don't forget about us. We won't forget about you. We love you. 2 kisses.